Hey guys, today I am going to make a video on my next project, which is installing this Pioneer AVH 4200 NEX head unit into my 2016 Subaru STi. Some of you may have watched the video I made a little over a year or so ago when I just got the car and I put in a whole new set of speakers, subs, amp, but I kept the factory head unit. And I've found that there's a lot of drawbacks to that head unit that I really didn't like the voice integration is really pathetic. You know, it doesn't open up Siri, it opens up its own voice system. It takes really long to recognize the phone when you plug it in to play music. And maybe my biggest pet peeve is that Waze, the Waze app, it works audibly but visually doesn't show up on the screen. So with this new head unit, I'm really hoping to solve all these problems. I'm hoping to integrate it with the steering control system. It should use Siri as the voice command system. I'm hoping to integrate the rear view camera. Also maintain the factory auxiliary audio inputs and USB input under the armrest. So to do all that, I wanted to kind of walk you through all the items that I got to hopefully make this install work. So first is I got this from Subispeed. It's a new dash bezel that will fit the aftermarket radio. Comes with the mounting brackets. This is part number SU2031B. I'll try to put a lot of the info and details links in the description. Another actually really good website you may want to go to, and I'll put this link as well. I think it's like access components something.com, but it basically allows you to put in your exact car and tells you which of these wiring kind of parts you need. So for example, mine, as I said, is an STi without navigation. So if you have navigation, or if you have a WRX or something, your stuff may be a little bit different. But for me, the first thing it says I needed was, is the steering wheel control module, which is the ASWC1. Now this, what you get is just a universal kit, and it comes with a set of wires, which you're not going to need. So throw those away, you don't need them. Basically what you are going to use is the actual module itself. So this module has a little plug that it'll take the commands from the steering wheel, translate them, and send them to the radio. It does that via this harness, which is another Axxess product. It's their AX-SUB28SWC-6V. The -6V represents this little 6-volt step down that apparently the camera in the car is 12 volt and the Pioneer requires 6, so this drops the voltage down. So the way this works is this plugs into the factory harness and basically allows you to tap into the steering wheel controls, which are all these wires in the middle, which are pre-wired to the little plug, which mounts directly into your control module. That then plugs into the head unit via the little stereo plug. It also taps into the video camera, which then here plugs into the back of the stereo, and the auxiliary audio inputs, which also will plug back into the stereo. Now I have already gone ahead and soldered up a couple of the wires. Looking at it from the back, so the top left is pin 1. So pin number 2 here is the reverse trigger wire, and that gets mounted to 2 places. One, it gets mounted to the blue and white wire on this little 6-volt step down thing. It also gets mounted to the reverse wire on the plug. This is the plug from the Pioneer head unit, so this gets mounted connected to that, and this plugs into the stereo. And then below it, so pin 15 is this light green wire, which is your parking trigger wire, and that plugs into the parking trigger wire on your Pioneer app. Plug. And then the instructions that came with this said to connect the red wire labeled 6 volt. But on this one, that's not correct. And I actually spoke to their tech support. They said that this wire here, which is, let's see, 14, 13, number 11, this yellow wire is actually the one to use to connect to the blue and red wire on the little 6 volt step down. So the rest of these wires here and here are just your basic, that I'll need to use at least, is your power wire, you know, your turn on accessory wire, your constant power, and your ground. The rest of these wires are basically all the speaker wires. Now, because I already have amps set up, I'm not going to be using any of these. But if you're simply installing this head unit and you're not dealing with amps or anything else, you should literally be able to wire this all up, like here on a workbench, pull the old radio out and literally just plug all this in. So for example, I also got this Metra 70-1761, which provides these 2 harnesses. So this one is for the rear speakers, and the top left here, this, I guess, purple, is for the passenger side rear speaker positive. The one right below it is the negative. On the right side, you got the driver's side in solid green, rear positive, and rear negative. And so you would plug this into the factory harness, and then you would simply mate this up with the appropriate wires, which are labeled in your, in the Pioneer owner's manual. You'd mate it up and solder to the wires here. And then the same with this 10 pin. The first 2 sets of wires over here, again, are speaker wires. So again, we have passenger front positive, passenger front negative. So the gray is the positive, the gray with the black stripe is negative. And then you got driver positive, which is white, and black stripe is negative. And so again, you would just connect those up to the wires on this harness. Then over here is our actual ground, accessory power, constant power, and illumination trigger. The blue wire I don't think I'll need. I think that's like for power antenna. So literally, if you were installing just this, I could go ahead and connect all these wires to the Pioneer's plug, and literally, once I install the stereo, it would be plugging this into the harness, this into the radio, plug these other little guys into the radio, and you're basically done with that aspect of it. Now, my other big plan, and the reason I liked this Pioneer radio over some of the others, was that a lot of them have the Apple CarPlay, but to me the problem with it is it only allows you to use a couple Apple apps. So for example, Waze, my understanding is, doesn't work on Apple CarPlay. So Pioneer also allows you to use what they call their app radio, which I think is like their proprietary system. And basically what it's simply letting you do is mirror your phone on the screen. Now to do that, they require you to connect this HDMI cable, which will connect to the back of the stereo, and my plan is to run this under the center console back to the little box under the armrest, where it'll then plug into this Apple Lightning to HDMI device. And what this lets you do is plug a lightning cable into here so that your phone can be charged while it's transmitting the audio and the video to the head unit. So to retain my factory USB port under the armrest, I got this Axxess product, which is AX-SUB28SWC6V Subaru. and it's simply going to accept the factory USB wire and then plug just a regular USB plug into the Pioneer. So under my armrest, that'll allow that hopefully to be active. I'll then be able to plug just a simple lightning cable under the armrest to here, and then the only thing I'll have poking out will be this wire, which is just a lightning extension cable. So I'll plug my Apple lightning port into this, and then this wire is what will stick out and connect to my phone. I'm hoping all of this works. The last thing I got was just the Pioneer microphone to this is not the mic for the phone that comes with the Pioneer. It includes that, the one you mount on the visor. This is a special microphone for setting up the time alignment and the equalizer. And then I just have some RCA cables to run back to my sub amp. So I'm hoping obviously all this works. I hopefully will also do another video on the actual installing it into the car, and then probably a third video on once everything's set up and working, how it works, my thoughts, how well the voice integration works, the steering wheel controls, all that. So I hope you guys learned something. I hope you liked the video, and I'm going to go start working on the car.